Maritime Matters is brought to you live by Bahamas Maritime Connection.
What is maritime?
Maritime, simply put, relates to navigation or commerce on the high seas.
Some say money makes the world go round. I say ships move the money that make the world move.
Who navigates those large international ships?
How often are international ships required to be surveyed and inspected?
Maritime also protects our seas and borders by way of our local Bahamas Defense
It
Force.
is very sad to say that out of 1,500 plus ships that are registered under the Bahamian flag, only a very small amount of Bahamians are employed.
Maritime Matters.
Pleasant good evening to you, our valued listening audience. Welcome one, welcome all. Welcome to Maritime Matters. I am your host, Captain Glenn Bain. Our sponsors for tonight's show are One-on-One Pharmacy and also Island Care Pharmacy. For all your medical needs, check out my little cousin Shanty McBride and her lovely team at One-on-One Pharmacy in Nassau, and of course, Island Care Pharmacy in the second city of Freeport. Fill your prescription at the store or send your refills via the online site oneononepharmacy.com. That's oneononepharmacy, all lowercase, one word, .com. 3 locations, East Street South, Charles Sanders Highway in Nassau, and of course in Freeport Explorers Way, downtown Freeport. We are secondly sponsored by Bahamas Maritime Connection Limited. At BMC, we provide a full slate of ISPS maritime security services. Thirdly, we're sponsored by the joint operations of GBI pilots and Bimini pilots. These are a contingent of independent marine pilots that are making themselves available to provide marine piloted services to any and all ships outside of the Port of Nassau and the Deepwater Harbor in Freeport. That means any family island, private island, etc., etc., etc. You need piloted services in the Bahamas, please call GBI pilots or Bimini pilots. They are there to service you for all those needs. Tonight, before I get into what we can discuss, let me just say happy birthday to my good sister Catherine. Catherine Johnson, Campos, all the rest of that good stuff. Catherine, girl, you big time. You reached that big threshold. You want me to tell them how old yes? No, you tell me don't talk your age. Anyway, she got plenty yes. And counting. And also my good Auntie Aris. Remember my Uncle Clyde that died a couple of months back? My big brother, the man that was always there for me. Well, his wife, Aris, her birthday's today as well. And my good cousin, Alien. All 3 of them. We got a 3-punch going on in this family. And let me tell you something. Every time December rolls around, I told y'all last week it was Jackie's birthday, but Alien happened to be Jackie's sister. So now we got Alien, Iris, and Catherine. All of them today. All the Heber and Clan operations. Happy birthday to them all. I'm sure they all had a ball and continuing to have a whale of a time. Now, what are we going to talk about tonight? We shall engage discussions on the development or the deployment. The deployment of 1,500 Royal Bahamas Defense Force troops to Haiti. That's a very hot topic discussion because, you know, when this was mentioned a couple months back, you know, a lot of the talk show hosts on radio stations were talking about, oh, you know, I don't know, that's not a good idea. Haiti is really devastated right now and it's a dangerous place to be and all the rest of that. But we're going to discuss that from a logical perspective, from a perspective of facts, from a perspective of bravery. And of course, this brings up continuing discussions on illegal migrant employment and shanty towns in our country, our good little country, the Bahamas. So topics should include, therefore, the troops that are expected to be deployed to Haiti sometime soon. The Royal Bahamas Defense Force Commodore, Dr. Raymond King, confirms that 150 troops are being trained to conduct peacekeeping duties in Haiti. Of course, our troops will be part of a contingent of regional armed forces, and regional plus Kenya. Kenya want to be in on this. They got it in their courts right now as to whether or not they can do this, but they're still looking forward to coming down and rendering assistance based on the United Nations Security Council October approved year-long multinational security mission to Haiti. So what happened in October? The UN Security Council approved that they could do 1 year of peacekeeping in Haiti with a multinational team of peacekeeping officers. That's the best way I could put it, eh? But those of you who know better than me, please feel free to call. The big question is, should the Bahamas be a part of that multinational grouping? Another question is, can the RBDF, Royal Bahamas Defense Force troops, be appropriately prepared for such a mission? We got all the details, ladies and gentlemen, and you know what? We ain't never scared. Those details can come out when we get back to this. We also want to know, will the lives of our troops be at high risk while serving in Haiti, based upon reports of hostile activities going on all the time since that disturbance in Haiti? Our second hot topic would be migration down overall, but rise in those headed to the U.S. So we had a press conference this week, and of course, Commodore King gave a briefing, and in his briefing he said the Northern Bahamas has seen a 99.0% increase in migration to the United States. And according to CDF, there was zero, no landings of migrants in the Bahamas thus far for 2023. There was also a 22% decrease in migration interdictions during 2023. So we don't have no information to suggest that there were any landings. But of course, we did intercept a few vessels. And even in the amount of vessels we intercepted over the past year, it was 22% lower than the previous year. So we're looking good, eh? Our Immigration Act, another topic. Our Immigration Act needs to include the appropriate penalty or penalties for entities that illegally employ migrants. In other words, this person is not a Bahamian citizen, and when you employ people, you need to ask them for their passport. Hey, they say negligence is no excuse for breaking the law. So this thing with, I didn't know he wasn't a Bahamian, that's nonsense, and that ain't a fly in this day and time, eh? So you should know who you employ. Ask them for the passport, and if they can't produce it, then you can't employ them. But what we want now is we want some teeth in the Immigration Act. Because as it stands now, the Immigration Act doesn't say what happens to those employers who employ migrants or non-Bahamians, particularly in those areas that are reserved for Bahamians, eh? Who employ non-Bahamians in those areas without the appropriate work permit. It just said they're supposed to do it. It didn't say what can happen when they do it. We need to put something in there and say we can either jail them, we can fine them some big hefty penalties, or both. Like how we always do. You get penalty and jail sometimes, eh? Especially if it's the second or third time. So we want some teeth in our Immigration Act that not only put pressure on the migrant who looking for work, we want to put pressure on the employers to make sure that they employ people who are legal to do work in that environment based on our laws. Let's put some teeth in there and let's deal with some of them so that they could get the message. Another topic. Agriculture crown land leases where shanty homes are built will be ended. This is from our Attorney General, Mr. Ryan Pinder. Mr. Pinder saying they got some shanty towns on crown land. Well, it's crown land lease. We leased the land to my boy around the corner who's a preacher. And the land was leased for agricultural means. Instead of using it for agriculture, allowed Haitians to build 200 shanty towns and pay him at the end of every month some 20,000, 10,000, how much ever thousands of dollars he get per month, just allow those Haitians to settle there and do that thing. But guess what? I don't know if our law addresses what happens to my pastor friend around the corner for doing that. So we need some teeth in our laws. And we need to go after these people who have crown lease or any kind of land, not just crown lease. If you have your own 10 acres that your family was passed down and you allow Haitians to settle on their building homes that you know ain't meeting the building codes, homes that you know ain't environmentally up to standard because they just defecating all over the place and then, you know, cesspits and stuff like that. Come on, man. You already know they're wrong. And you should be penalized. And of course, you know, we the people, we can make sure, because, you know, our Minister Clay Sweeting already said, we are going to take down all the shanty towns. And I all in Brother Sweeting to that because he's a good man. He moving there and Cool Acres, bam. All things, bam. 2 down. Now he didn't show me he could do it. So, Minister Sweeting, we're looking for our schedule of who's next. We want you to get quiet on us after 2 down. Because we know we got about 30 or 40. So if we got them big numbers and you done take 2 down, let's know when the rest schedule to come down. I mean, you know, they say you throw the smoke screen, yes, 2 down. But we want to see an actual schedule. We want to see continuity. You even didn't name the next one. And I know you could, because we know that our government knows where all of them are. So let's get that schedule and let's keep rolling with that, eh? Oh, we got a call on the line. As for me?
Old woman, tell me to get the hell out of me.
Caller, you are on Maritime Matters. Thank you so much for calling. I hear you sneaking one little thing talking about my anime. I was saving anime for after the break, but anyhow, good night, anime! Good evening, caller. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm glad that you are saying about the illegal immigration, because the Bahamas, all of our problems stems from immigration.
That is correct.
If we get the Immigration Act together, we would have more than 99.9% of our problems solved.
Provided we enforce it now, because, you know, we got a lot of things we got on paper and we don't enforce them. If we put some teeth in that act and even if we enforce what in there now, because
exactly.
you are absolutely correct, caller, because the 2 things that we need to do in this country is we need to make sure those coming in by sea cannot assemble into shanty towns, because there ain't no more shanty towns for them to assemble into.
And this change of name, what is the purpose behind that? You don't even know if the name that is there is really the name of the person. It could be any name. Yeah, but
the authority is supposed to post those things and they're supposed to do their due diligence. But even before I get to that, what we need to do is make sure nobody in this country could work if they don't have the appropriate work permit. And nobody in this country who's not a Bahamian is going to be working in those areas that the government put aside in that policy for Bahamians only. And once we do that, because if that's what makes this country so attractive to those migrants, you know, the fact that they could come and send money back home. Now, if they realize and they come here, they can't work, they could pass us like we ain't and go somewhere else.
That's true. That's true.
And so the main thing is to make sure they can't work. And the second thing is to make sure they ain't get no shanty towns. And then we ain't got to worry with them no more.
Right, right.
So I thank you so much for your call and your timely contribution. And of course, we can keep going on. You got a lot to talk about tonight, so you could feel free to call back later on if something else hit your fancy, and let me know.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you so much for your call, darling. Caller, you're live on Maritime Matters. Hello.
Good night, Captain Dan.
Good night to you, my dear. How are you?
I had a comment on the deployment of the Defense Force officers.
Yeah, you owe me a call because you ain't called.
To that topic.
You ain't called the show for so long. You owe me a call. Now go right ahead.
I listen all the time.
That's very good. Thank you.
The United States has allocated funding for this Kenya-led deployment. And as you know, with the Flamingo and the $10 million that the Cubans had pledged for reparation for the sinking of the Flamingo, I don't think that money was ever received by those families.
Well, I don't know if you have. I don't know where you saw the 10 million. I saw what was it? I know they got, I think, $3.5 million for the vessel, and then they got like 100,000 for each one of the 4 men that were killed on site. And that's what I remember seeing in the old clippings. Now, I don't know if you got something different from what I had.
Right. Well, it depends on the articles, I guess, that you're reading. But my point is, have these officers that are being deployed been sufficiently covered when it comes to any loss of life? Because, they're family men, they have children that are dependent on them, family members that are dependent on them. And one person's life that is lost would cause, poverty generationally if they are killed in this deployment. So this money that the Americans have given or allocated for this exercise, and also the Kenya judge has put this off until the 26th of January next year, where he would make a ruling as to whether or not Kenya will be going, the police officers from Kenya will be going.
That is correct.
So my concern is, the Bahamas needs to check all of the boxes to make sure that anybody that is deployed can utilize that funding that's set aside for this exercise, because the Kenya is the one that's controlling the money, and different articles say different things, but it's almost $150 to $200 million that's been set aside for this exercise.
Yeah, okay, very good, and you're absolutely right. And we should have concern about our troops being covered in the case of untimely death based on some action or activity that goes on in Haiti. But remember now, we are part of a conglomerate of countries meshing together for common cause. We are actually going to do training in Jamaica with all the other countries before we go into Haiti. We've done this before in 94, 95. We sent hundreds of troops to Haiti. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got injured. There's no reports of any of that. These people are going to be well prepared. And I got the details to go on as the show move on. The details of training that they're going to go through before we don't want people to think we're wimps in this country. We're not wimps. We're not even close to wimps. We have a military force, and once they are prepared and they're being prepared, we have nothing to worry about. Those men will be men, and they will get the job done. And I don't want people to think that, Bahamians too soft to go in situations. We're not, they're saying the Bahamas go in there. We're part of the United Nations. We're part of CARICOM. We're part of all the regional forces. And we are part of what will help us if we fall into trouble. So you can imagine Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados, all of them sending troops, and the Bahamas don't send any troops, and Haiti could impact us more than they can back any one of those countries. And later on down, if we run into problems, who's going to come to our aid?
Right.
We got to get real in this country.
The article that I quoted was written by Larry Smith, and it was published in the Tribune in 2013.
Yes.
And the article there says that Cuba agrees to pay $10 million in reparation for the sinking of the HMBS Flamingo and the murder of 4 Marines.
Yes.
Frederick Sturr, Austin Smith, David Tucker, and Edward Williams. And it also convicted the 8 Cuban fishermen who started all of the problem in 1980.
Correct.
So this article was published in the Tribune.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much money they actually got or whether or not they actually got the money. But, as the saying goes, of all my mother's children, I love myself the best. And so this $200 million or whatever millions of dollars that the Americans have allocated for this exercise, we need to make sure that the Defense Force officers that are being selected and that are going on there for whatever training are properly covered for this hazardous, because it's not just loss of life. They could lose an arm, a limb, a leg, their eyes, and the Bahamians have a different and special relationship with the Haitian community because, we have Haitian Bahamians or people with that, in their lineage. And so, it's not like with the Jamaicans or the Kenyans. It's a different relationship that we have. And so I think that all of that needs to be discussed, put in writing, made, very clear so that if something happens to parents, to wives, the children wouldn't be searching for answers 30 years after the fact.
I agree with you, darling. That is a very good.
That's my comment. And
you're absolutely correct. But thank you so much for calling, and I really appreciate your call because you're shedding some light on something that is very important. And yes, if there is a funding for 2 callers, I see you guys on the line. I'll be there in a minute. We gotta look out for our people in the event something goes wrong. These people have family. These people have children. These people have wives and mothers. And come on, man, if something goes wrong, that's why I keep pushing. I keep pushing every May for not only the 4 men that were killed during the Flamingo incident, but those that died after, plus those that continue to live among us, to get at least $3 million and $5 million for those who got killed for that incident, and there's no reason why we shouldn't do it. So when May comes again, we're going to be on that same page one more time to see what our government does. Producer, which line? Is it 3 or 4? 4? Calling on Maritime Matters. Thank you very much for calling.
Good evening, Captain Bain. This is Captain Bain.
Captain Brain. Boy, look here. Yeah, I got another call on the line. You want me to answer them and come back to you, or you can be quick?
Yeah, answer them first.
Oh, they go on. Okay, that's fine. That must be. They go on. They must be waiting for you to call. Let's talk, buddy.
Hey, good evening, Cap. I have a lot that I would like to say on this topic. I served in Haiti for 6 months in 1995, doing the exact same thing.
That's correct. And it was a national force, eh?
Multinational force went in and then what they had was peacemaking, really and truly, because you can't keep the peace until you make the peace.
That's right.
And then the United Nations peacekeeping mission started. So I would imagine that there would be an effort to ensure that the situation is stabilized in Port-au-Prince and the like, and then the UN charter will kick in where the peacekeepers will come there and they will maintain the peace.
Right.
On the issue, your callers tonight had some interesting points of view. I just want to drop in a few lines of my own. When we talk about just on the point that the last caller would have made, which is an interesting one, about loss of life, compensation for possible loss of life.
Reparation, yeah.
Yeah, well, the Defense Force, we are exposed to dangers every day.
Every single day.
So
yes.
Everything that you think of that can go wrong in Haiti and and lead to some unfortunate event where a person would have lost their life. The Defense Force troops are faced with that every day because the sea is like another world, and you go there and there's no guarantee that you're going to come back, right? And so here in Haiti, the situation could be a little bit more tenuous at times. However, the Defense Force troops are trained for that purpose, and if there are some skills gaps that currently exist, they're going to be filled when they have the extraordinary training that will take place prior to their deployment to Haiti, right?
That's
but
right.
The reality is, on the ground, every day, Defense Force officers are prone to dangerous and tumultuous situations, especially at sea. So if you're going to think about if we're gonna look to say, well, we won't send our troops there unless we have some nest egg in place, then it really doesn't add up, because if that be the case, then we need to change all of the Defense Force insurance and that they currently have, that the government pays for every day, and because they're faced with those dangers every day. So
well, I hear you loud and clear on that, Captain Brain. But let me just say now, when you're going in a peacekeeping environment after years of unrest, I really would not want to, when juxtapose, put that on the same stage with a vessel at sea during peacetime. You far more heavily laden and prepared than who you're going to come up against at sea. We don't have any history really of anybody trying to overpower us at sea in the day-to-day duties that we do, except for that one incident where we were bombed and again we didn't stand a chance. So I'm not sure. I mean, with my experience as a sailor and knowing what I know about the Defense Force, I am not sure that the risk is to the same heightened level as officers going in to keep the peace after big unrest. I'm not sure the risk can be comparable.
Well, Cap, if you, I don't know if you, I'm sure that you heard about this lady, Mother Nature. She every day, the sea alone is and boarding, jumping from one boat to the next in the dead of night with gun on your shoulder. With that, we've had.
No. That's you're talking safety. No, you're talking safety now. Let's stick with military risks.
Yeah, but we've had situations where PDF guys were kidnapped. We've had.
No. Well, I mean, that's.
Right?
I don't know if they were kidnapped. I don't know if they were kidnapped. More so than I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. Yeah, I'm hearing you. But when you look at all the details behind that particular case, I'm not sure we would see that as a hostile situation where people's lives were put in danger. I don't think their lives were put in danger. Otherwise, they probably would have been dead, eh?
If you're taking prisoners, you have an arrest situation. You have prisoners, and the prisoners take you hostage and take you from the Bahamas to Honduras, and they have your gun.
Well, they take your gun and took you for a ride. They're not telling you we kill you with your gun. No, what I'm saying is they would have been dead if that was the case. They just went for a ride.
We could agree to disagree on that one point, but let me go on. I served in Haiti, and I can tell you the situation before we left for Haiti in '95. We had an exercise where we had to write our will, because the reality is that there are situations that there are risks out there that you may not come back, and not to frighten anyone. We've had persons who in '95 who said, "Hey, I'm not going. I'd rather quit," and they have people who actually quit, and persons who we had to go and arrest and who went absent without the AWOL.
Yeah, but shouldn't that situation alone suggest that this is more of a dangerous mission than just going to sea? Because you don't have to do a will to go to sea. You don't have to do a will. People are not saying, I ain't going to sea, I can leave the job because that's too dangerous. I'm just saying this situation is a different level. And that's why you have to do those things.
Yeah, you have some. I agree that there are some dangers that we cannot foresee in a situation like this. But I think that all in all, we have an obligation to go. Haiti is a part of the Caribbean community.
Yeah.
Haiti, the problems that exist in Haiti, if they're not addressed appropriately, those things could very, very easily spill over to become our problem, and so.
So we almost have an obligation to want to be a part of that contingent, eh?
We have an obligation, and because not only because they are their problems might affect us, but they are our brothers and sisters, Caribbean brothers and sisters.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, we have to do our very, very best to stabilize the situation in Haiti, and the only way you can do it is to have boots on the ground. And so I support wholeheartedly the fact that we are sending troops to Haiti, and as a part of a multinational force, multi-Caribbean and led by Kenya.
Yeah.
And I think that's absolutely necessary. If I had the opportunity to go, I'll go again.
No, we don't want you to go no more. But let me ask you a question. You're too old. Let me ask you a question. But look, while you served back in the 90s, you must think you're still in the 90s. It's old man now, but while you serve...
I think it's still working.
I think so. But while you served back in the 90s, right? The Bahamian troop, the men from the Bahamas who were there, boots on the ground, were we at any risk more so than the troop from Jamaica, the troop from Barbados, the troop from Belize, the troop from Trinidad? Were we in any more danger than any other country?
No, not at all.
So we said all of these countries got to do all these things. We're talking about them.
Well, actually, everybody will face with the exact same.
Exactly my case. So why are we making it look as though we scared to send our troops, but yet you got a whole contingent of other countries sending people in the same exact situation, and they're not complaining, but our troops might get killed. Well, we supposed to be soft or something?
Well, anytime you have, and you talking about Cap, you're talking about a country that's not used to having a standing army and not used to people dying. So
those other Caribbean countries are the same thing, no? Barbados is in the same situation. Yeah. Trinidad in the same situation. Antigua and Barbuda, St. Lucia, all those they're in the same situation and they never had no troops going to war.
Right, and so it's just a matter of fear. There was similar fear when, after the sinking of the Flamingo and parents, kids expressed interest in joining the Defense Force, there was that fear at that time.
Yeah, but you know, the Flamingo was an act of war in peacetime. It's no comparison. We could not have prepared for that.
Yeah, but the thing is,
we can't even put that in the same.
It's just something that most Bahamians are not used to. They're not used to people troops going to places where, even though they know that
the Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad, none of them used to this. None of us are English-speaking Caribbean brothers and sisters done this before. Now, you gotta remember, Grenada had something back in the day, and we didn't have a defense force then. And some of the troops from the neighboring community would have gone to assist Grenada, led by the U.S., and then we have the situation where, as you see now, Guyana is being threatened by what Chavez, them country name? Venezuela, because they think they find some oil somewhere in Venezuela. Say, well, we all have when peace would belong to us, we want to take that back. But these are situations where we may need to respond. But outside of those two and the last peacekeeping in Haiti, none of our countries ever been through this. So the Bahamas is special in this regard.
No, I agree with you. But there are dangers that we need to, and that's the reality, really and truly. Because I can tell you, I was in charge of a base in a place I was in Okai, a base in Okai. We had a Guyanese soldier who ran down another Guyanese soldier and shot him 7 times in the back, 2 in the head. Guy dropped in the front of my tent. At that time, I was in charge of that particular base, right?
Right.
So there is, and all of this was chalked up. When I questioned him, I said, "Well, why did you do it?" He spent I think 14 years in prison. He was arrested and spent 14 years in prison. But I chalked it up based on what he said. I said, "Why did you do it?" He said he didn't know. The stress associated with a mission like that is pretty good. It's pretty heavy as well. We had a Pakistani soldier who shot himself in the head. we had a Barbadian soldier who he lost it, and we had to pack him up and repatriate him to home country.
Yeah, not Barbadian, that's Bayesian, eh? Bayesian.
So some things there is inherent risk in a theater such as Haiti. But at the end of the day, like I said, we are part of this community, and we have an obligation to assist and to offer assistance to our brothers and sisters to the south. And we need to always keep in mind that if we don't address that situation in the south, we will be negatively impacted futuristically, and we are negatively impacted now, but it'll be worse.
I agree with you 1,000 times, my brother. As always, I thank you so much for your healthy contribution to discussions, particularly discussions of this military nature with your experience as a peacekeeper in the past. And I just hope we hear from some other Royal Bahamas Defense Force previous peacekeepers who actually went to Haiti and actually experienced what goes on down there.
Indeed, and I wish our troops well, and I wish them Godspeed, and we have an obligation, those who remain behind. Let's pray for the troops, and let's get them prayed up, and let's get them prepared for this duty, this necessary duty.
That's what
Have a
I'm
good
talking
night, Jeff, and thank you again for your time.
Thank you very much, my friend. Value or nothing.
Indeed.
My good friend, Captain Baby Brain, the Valley boy, he in the Sharks. He supposed to join me in the studio tonight, but he said, boy, I get to leave, I got to catch up. So he did any little junkaroo thing. I tell him I don't do junkaroo, I know we always find that kind of time. But I love it. But boy, we got thank goodness for you all junkaroo people, because you all ain't easy. We're talking maritime people. You are listening to Maritime Matters. At this point, we move to our first break. When we return, we will engage, go into further depths in our discussions for the night. Listen, people, you don't want to touch that dial because you don't want to miss this one. It's going to be off the chain. Thank you very much.
At Bahamas Maritime Connection Limited, we offer first-class maritime security services throughout the Bahamas and the wider Caribbean. As experts in maritime security, we specialize in production of ISPS assessments and plans, verification audits, certified familiarization training, and port security consultancy, just to name a few. Our services also include provision of a security force to maintain all required ISPS facility security compliance. For all your maritime security needs, visit us today in Nassau at our East Street South location or in Freeport in the Kipling Building. Call us at 392-3515 or follow us on all social media platforms. Bahamas Maritime Connection, your leader in maritime security. Let's help you make the connection. At One-on-One Pharmacy, our friendly staff is ready to serve you. Visit us today for all your prescription and over-the-counter needs at our East Street South or Charles Saunders Highway locations. We're open Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and from 9 to 4 on Sundays. In a rush? Send your refill scripts online at oneononepharmacy.com or ask about our convenient pickup service. One-on-One Pharmacy, providing personal health care with people at heart.
Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting in the evening.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We thank you for joining us on Maritime Matters. Again, I am your host, Captain Glenn Bain. I take this opportunity to say good night to my good old Annie Mae up there in Freeport, the second city. My number one fan from day one. Yes, she's not 90 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Still counting strong. Last week I had a caller when the show was finishing. That's the same caller, I think, who called earlier and made that significant contribution to the show. And she said, you know, she just loved when I big up my Annie Mae. Because her mom passed about 2 years ago. I think her mom was 98 when she passed. And she said, every time I say, good night, Annie Mae, it puts her mind right back on her mommy, and she feels so good. So to that special listener, Annie Mae. I told Annie Mae she got a fan, and she so love it. Boy, look here. Annie Mae, keep rolling, girl. Keep rolling. You know, Annie Mae is my mom's good friend. I think they were best friends for years. Because they all started out as teachers. They used to call them monitors in South Andres, you know. They used to teach. They were one of the very minimum jobs working for government you could do on the family islands. You be a commissioner or you work as a teacher in the school system, and that's basically it. And you know, Andres, like South Andres, ain't much government operations was going on down there then. So my mom and Annie Mae were monitors. They didn't call them teachers. They call them teacher later on when they got certified and all that. But they were monitors in the schools, teaching the young kids on South Andres. And so I don't want you all to think Annie Mae easy. That's why she could remember all these things. So Annie Mae, I say to you, good night. Tell your good daughters, my good cousins, Lorraine and Margot and Yvonne and Venice. Just tell them, keep things sticking with you, continue to take good care of you, and continue rolling on. 91 on the way, my dear. Thank you very much to my listening audience. I take pleasure in introducing to you the man behind the controls. Yes, he keep me focused, he keep me on point, and he keep those calls just the way they should be. Our wonderful producer. I reserve no hesitation in presenting to you tonight the insatiable, the man of the hour, the man with all the power. He is fully able, quite capable, the one and only Mr. Craig Gibson. Yes, and we talking maritime tonight, we talking military, and there goes that military salute. Boy, he has a little cheap salute tonight, but that's all right. Craig is our boy, we know he got our back, and that's how we rolling. You're listening to Maritime Matters, and on this show, we talk maritime. Maritime Matters airs weekly at 19:30 every Tuesday night, right here on Love 97 FM. The purpose of the show is to highlight persons that made significant contributions to maritime in the Bahamas and to sensitize Bahamians of opportunities, jobs in the maritime sector. We also cover maritime, current maritime issues from domestic and international maritime fields. Of course, tonight we are covering the Royal Bahamas Defense Force deployment to Haiti. Some 150 troops. It's going to be 50 at a time for 4-month stints. And that's what's intended to start us up. And that's based on the United Nations having their Security Council having an approval to say we're going to send troops to Haiti. So the Bahamas want to be part of it. You got people from Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados. But the main spearheading team, if all goes well with their court system, would be coming in from Kenya. You know them Kenyans ain't easy when it comes to military. So Kenya will be spearheading all of the training. We're going to talk about the details based on what the Commodore had revealed to us in his press statement last week. He did a presentation and gave some steep details as to what training we're going to be engaging and all the rest of that stuff moving forward with these troops going to Haiti. So, according to, by the way, our number to call to get in on the show is still 328. Lord, I miss it again. There you go. 328. See, Lord, I miss it again. Greg, what it is, man? 8255. Yeah, 326 8255, something like that. So I'm going to get that for you right now. I see you on the line, caller. But before I answer that phone, you know I got to get this number. Because I said 326. All right, 8255. Boy, I know I didn't know that in my head. Getting old now. 326 8255. You got a call on the line. Caller, you're on Maritime Matters. Thank you so much for calling. Good night to you.
You're live, my brother. You're
live on 8 Mile Rock. King Arthur, how are you, sir?
You know something? What I find really amazing with Bahamian people, right? We got a war now, so every night.
Man, don't say that, man. Nassau ain't that bad.
We got a war now, so every night. Somebody getting shot every night.
Man, Nassau ain't that bad, man. Ain't every night. It's every week. Let's say every week.
Really come down to our Bahamian folks, you know, we need to recruit some of them soldiers up the street now, sir.
Well, we got well-trained people that we have really capable of doing the job. So, I mean, push come to shove now, we could recruit them. But yes.
You know, and between you and me too, we got like 250,000 soldiers from Haiti in the Bahamas right now. We need to send them back to Haiti go fight. Because, you know, I heard a news report that they found in Nassau village a place with about 10 machine gun AK-47s in Nassau village. So that means that they probably organized an underground to go back. What do you think?
No, I don't think. See, the thing is, when you have a country like Haiti, and they got other countries in the Middle East that are war-torn countries, if you can get out, right? Although you may be trained to defend yourself and defend your family, but if you could get out, of course you could take that route, because you don't really want to be caught up in that on a daily basis.
Yeah, you know, I heard my friend from up in the hills talking a while ago. You know, he works with my brothers on the defense force and stuff like that. And I know you guys have a task to protect the Bahamas.
Yeah, well, I don't want people thinking we wimps. You see, we when you're talking about peacekeeping, you're not going to war, you know. Like Captain Brain said earlier, you got a group going ahead to stabilize things before the peacekeeping means it's already at peace, and you're just making sure it remain at peace.
Okay, good. Listen to me, Ben. It don't necessarily mean that you're going down there to do peace situation. You know, I was just looking at a documentary what I got from on YouTube the other day.
Yeah.
These people, then in Africa, it's supposed to be peacekeepers. But they're flying in drones and stuff. The people gold and all their natural resources and guns, flying them from place to place in Africa. I mean, you know what countries doing this kind of thing. Haiti has plenty natural resources, and I want you to believe if they put that kind of money inside, they're talking about peacekeeping. It's another thing you have to look out for. You know what I mean? Because Haiti has one of the rarest natural resources that this world needs right now. Besides South Africa, Haiti has it. And there is another country that really needs it right now. And they are in Haiti, raping Haiti. They used to run Haiti one time ago. And don't think it's only peacekeeping you're going on there therefore. You're going to go protect their investment when they got inside there. You know what I mean? They're plundering Haiti. Haiti is a place being plundered right now because Haiti got all kinds of natural resources. I don't want people to think right now that they're going inside there to do peacekeeping. You know what I mean? Because the peacekeepers right now, it's the gangs and stuff like that right now who is being supported by big nations like that.
Yeah, but King Otto.
You have to keep your eyes and your ears open when you hear things. You know what I mean? When you tell me it's a 6, you know what I mean? I look at it 9 because there's the same thing. You know what I mean? You can't come telling me appear my face and tell me it's raining. This is the same thing they're trying to do to the Bahamas.
No, man, King Otto, man.
The Bahamas.
King Otto, if the Bahamas.
That's the same way, my friend. You know what I mean? And that's what they want to do. They want to come lay up on our beaches, drink our coconut water, you know what I mean, for nothing.
But the thing is, if our country becomes unstable, we don't have a government running it because it's just a bunch of infighting going on and unrest going on, then we can need someone to come help us too, you know. The thing is, the people who are going to be the peacekeepers are not those big conglomerates who go and take advantage and rape countries of the resources. You know, us and Jamaicans and Trinidadians and Bayesians, and come on, man, are we here for that?
But you see, they're trying to put us in one ball, you know what I mean, to make it look good.
No, man, we the only ones who could be there.
The main thing being is Haiti's natural resources.
Yeah, but let's get Haiti stabilized so Haiti can have a government, and that government can negotiate like every other country in the world on their natural resources. You see what happening? In North Africa right now, and some of those countries like Niger, and their government is now taking charge of their resources. That's where we are.
If they can stabilize these countries, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, certain places in the Virgin Islands, if they can stabilize them, they can stabilize Haiti. They want Haiti to be the way they are. They don't want the people to know what they got.
No, but
this is the deliberate thing, my friend.
Yeah, you could be right up to an extent. But what I'm saying is the people who are going to be peacekeepers are countries that has no interest in Haiti's wealth. We want to see Haiti do well. We don't want Haiti to lose their wealth to nobody. And we may be the same people coming back to put up a fuss if somebody try to rape the wealth of Haiti when Haiti does have a government that can negotiate their wealth.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, brother. I mean, these countries been running Haiti for years. And they've been taken from Haiti for years.
Yeah, they were standing all over the world.
The minute you see one or two Haitians, them get an idea of what you're doing, you know what I mean? They'll be like Burkina Faso and the rest of them other leaders, you know what I mean? They will put them out of the country.
But that's the reason why. That's the reason why.
Haiti to dig up. I now, like me and you say today, you know what I mean? They got natural resources that they do not want these people to put their hand on because Haitians won't be the people that you could take advantage of. Right now, you know, the dignity, but then, you know what I mean? For them to have a handle on their natural resources, it'll even be better because it'll be better for the Bahamas. That's where we can get back to trade again, you know what I mean? We don't have to go and import our stuff with all kind of chemicals in it from all over the United States and stuff like that. We can, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
An agreement we're supposed to be like trading partners right now.
Absolutely.
This is something that is deliberately taking place right now, but
but listen.
Look at it from a point of view where we have to be together. You understand?
Listen, we are together. We are together in the sense that we're going to lend a helping hand to cause stability. Because you have two options, right? You can take the do nothing approach, right? And the do nothing approach means let them continue to remain in turmoil for another 10 years. Or we could take the approach where, look, man, we got to offer them assistance. They can't, it's too much going on. They need outside help to cause stability to come in place, right? Let's get the outside help. Let's cut out all this unrest, and let's allow them to elect a government and do all the rest. Man, we did this before. This happened in the 90s, which is what, 30 years ago, if all that. We did. This is done before.
This activity taking place in Haiti, legal and illegal. I mean, and unconscionable.
Yeah, even in the Bahamas, we have legal and illegal activities going on. I mean, that's all over the world.
Yes, but Haiti is a place, and they got mountains, you know what I mean? And they got the temperature to do certain things. And guess what? Certain people are going to be in power because big nations are allowing them to be in power, giving them, you know what I mean, what they need, the ammunition and the money to take care of and keep the situation the way they want to keep it. And then they'll get fools like other countries together and put them in one little ball and say, y'all go here, y'all go do that. But then the leaders know what time it is.
Yeah, but we need
There's a lot of fooling going on, you know what I mean? It's a lot of fooling taking place, brother.
King Ari, you're absolutely right. I know you're a well-read fellow.
We got to be on the right side of the law when that time come, my friend.
Well, we need to help stabilize them first. Then we could start talking about what side of the law we on. Because if without stability, ain't nothing we can do for them. Nobody can do for them. They need to be stable first, eh?
Hey, yeah, well, Ben, you know, I got two brothers on the fence force right now. I mean, one retired, and you know, I got a next one there right now, and you know what I mean. I pray for their safety all the time. I mean, they got a lot of homeboys on the defense force. I mean, got niece on the defense force. Got more people going to the defense force. So you know what I mean. We like patrons. You know what I mean. In terms of like helping to make the Bahamas what it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but don't make us out.
Young people, tell the Bahamians if you got young people who don't know what is a good career to go into the law enforcement, okay? Help the nation to protect the nation. Help to protect us because I can be over there, I can need protection. I mean, you're going to need protection. The Bahamas will need protection. I mean, so tell the young folks, you know what I mean? Hey, give up on the crime and the violence and the guns and things, you know what I mean? Go to the defense force so you can shoot the gun legally, you know what I mean?
Thank you very much.
Your target's going to be right there. You know?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And let's come together as Bahamians and take care of our business because we got a big wealth thing that is coming because of our carbon credits and all the rest of our natural resources that needs to be harnessed. We cannot afford to let foreigners harness our natural resources because we will see them. Like right now, they you know, like I say, gold, sand is more popular than gold today because gold can only be used for certain things. Sand can be used for a variety of things. So we got sand, we got the sea, we got our seagrass and everything, you know what I mean? Hey, we loaded, bro. We need help.
Absolutely, my brother. So in moving forward, we looking good, and we got to harness that and make sure we get our fair share. So thanks for calling, as always.
Good night, Bahamas, and my friend over in Luca Papa, and all the rest of them over there. Hey, this is me, man. This your boy.
All right. Yes, King Otto. Take care, my friend. That's King Otto. Very red. He's always he's a Google. He's something like me. He's a Google king. You know, we ain't know too much, but boy, we could read and we learn, and that's what life is all about. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for continuing to listen to Maritime Matters. We're happy to have you with us. Numbers to call if you want in on the discussion is 326-8255. That's 326-8255. We're talking about the mission to Haiti via deployment of Royal Bahamas Defense Force troops, along with JDF, Jamaican Defense Force, Barbados Defense Force, Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. And we just one small part of a conglomerate, a big contingent, and we're all going to be faced with the same thing, and we all got to be prepared. And how are we going to prepare our troops? Based on our Commander Defense Force, Dr. Raymond King, he stated that the training already started. Almost about a year ago, we started because we saw this coming, and a cross section of personnel from the Defense Force are being made ready as we speak. They got people from all the departments, the medical department, the squadron, supplies, the padre, and those people who are going to be there to make sure lend an assistance when it comes to counseling people who may be kind of need a little help with that while they're over there. All these people are going to be part of the team. Local trainings in infantry is ongoing. They're being trained in optics and urban tactics according to the Commander Defense Force. That's ongoing, particularly for those first 50 who are earmarked to go when the time comes, when our government give us that mandate. Okay, time to go, based on, of course, the United Nations conglomerate, and they would go into Jamaica and train with all the rest, so that everybody could be on the same page. That's all that noise. What's that noise? Local trainings, previous trainings with the assistance of special mobile training teams from US and Canada are also being undertaken. So over the past year or two, our troops were being the recipients of training by way of special mobile training teams. All right, US have mobile training teams that they go into other countries and assist with training. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. What's that jumper do? It's coming in here loud. I don't know where it's coming from. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Just trying to get that Junkanoo beat out of our studio. Much as we love Junkanoo. And they're ranging, according to Commodore King, they're ranging for some train-the-trainer courses, right, to be undertaken by some RBDF troops at the peacekeeping centers of excellence. That's in Chile and Argentina. So even South Americans are accommodating us in helping to prepare our troops to go into this peacekeeping mission. Because in Chile and Argentina, they actually have peacekeeping centers of excellence where they prepare troops for peacekeeping at a high standard. So we're going to send some Bahamian BDF troops down there to do the train-the-trainer courses, and they will come back to the Bahamas, and then with the train-the-trainer courses, they will be able to train others to do peacekeeping training and all the rest of that good stuff. And they will be augmented with the assistance of those countries' mobile training teams, those countries being Chile and Argentina. So we got a good thing coming up. We got a good thing to go. So, you know, the Bahamian troops will be professionally trained and military capable for the impending peacekeeping mission. And we got that from our Commodore, and then there's good stuff that he's telling us. And these are the things we want to hear. We don't want to even consider or think that our good Defense Force troops are going to be wimps. They're not going to be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with the Trinidadians and the Jamaicans and the Bajans and all the rest of that, because we just don't think they can handle it. No. We're bigger than that. We're one of the best. Is that a call on the line, producer? Line 1, you're on Maritime Matters. Hello.
Oh, wow, I missed it. Oh, wow. Hey, but I have a question. I want you to answer it over the telephone because I misunderstood the wrong button on my radio.
Mr. Bremen, darling,
so I
go right ahead.
You know, so it like to take me a while to bring that back up. But what I want to say, right?
Yeah.
With this bunch of training in which the Bahamas are getting, the Bahamas are the police and defense force guys and those people like those, right? That's those. How much it costing us? How much we have to be paid, the Bahamian public? What are we paying for their training?
Well, some of the training are done by regional bodies, and I can tell you that when I was in the Defense Force, I would have done some training that the OAS actually pays for. When I was at Bahamas Maritime Authority, I would have done some training that the IMO, the International Maritime Organization, would have paid for.
The two differences of them and why they had to pay.
Why? Who had to pay?
Both of them.
No, this is what they do. These organizations, these bodies are. This is what they do. All countries contribute to them. The United Nations, you know. The United Nations is not.
In other words, the Bahamas just send you to those countries. They're some of the convention in which the Bahamas government signed on to.
Yeah, well, some of them are being sponsored, some of them are not. Some of them the Bahamas actually pays for. But that's what all military in all countries, they pay for their people to go and do training, because you have to keep on the cutting edge if you're in a military setting. You would know that our police force don't usually have people going off to train like our defense force. Right?
Go ahead.
Yeah, and that is because it's a different type force. The police force.
So let me ask you something.
Yes, sir.
So ones that are being sponsored, you have the prerogative to call their name.
Yeah, I told you the organization of the American states, the OAS, which is a regional organization that no country owns. It's a conglomerate of countries, just like the United Nations is a conglomerate of countries, just like the International Maritime Organization is a conglomerate of countries. No country owns these organizations or these bodies, you know. But countries contribute. And I can tell you that our Bahamas Maritime Authority contribute heavily to the IMO based on the amount of ships we have registered, because we're making money by registering ships. And every time you register a ship, you got to make a contribution to the IMO. So we'd be like in the top 10 contributors to IMO. Now what IMO does with their money is they have certain areas where they help countries that need assistance. But no country owns IMO. Okay. No country owns the OAS, or the Organization of American States.
I got you.
So that's how the world runs.
I got you.
Yes, sir.
So let me ask you something. Knowing that, what's happening, what position that we are in as a country, or we have to be joined up with the Caribbean to be recognized as who we are, or what we are?
I don't understand what you mean, who we are or what we are. What?
Take for instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you have some people sponsoring help to us free.
Well, they're doing it for not only us, they're doing it for most of the small developing countries in the world, you know.
Okay.
It's not just the Bahamas they're doing this for.
So what do they want back from us because of what they had done or what they're doing.
They don't want anything back from us. They kind of obligated to assist smaller countries when they have their setup. It's nothing they could demand from us because, like I told you, they don't own these organizations.
So let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is a technical question.
Yeah, man.
Why is it that you think people always saying Haiti need help? Some people saying Haiti doesn't need help. What's happening in a situation as such? Now you have those organizations, say, being established to help countries in which cannot help themselves, or if a country are doing bad, they are in position, or their objective is to help those countries. My point is, now you heard, I don't know how Haiti are doing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now when I could have seen, I used to have patients working with me as helpers.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But what I'm hearing now, or what you know, because I believe you travel to that country being in the defense force, what are their position?
What is the position of the people in Haiti, or the position on the ground in Haiti?
Right.
Well, you can imagine Haiti right now doesn't have a government. And if a country doesn't have any government, you can imagine if we don't have a government, that means we ain't got nobody running the police force, nobody in charge of nothing. The country is business and chaos.
Don't do something.
But that's what they're trying to do now. They're trying to get things stable so that they could form a government and cause the country to run properly. That's exactly why they're doing this peacekeeping, why they're getting these troops to go there, because they need help. They can't do it on their own. If the country is in turmoil, who's going to take charge and say, okay, everybody got to listen? No, they got to send.
What happened if say? What happened if say they hasn't agreed with what's taking place in their country?
No, if who doesn't agree?
The Haitians.
Well, if the Haitian, the thing about it is, if you can imagine you living in an area where every time you go walk the street, you leave your wife and children home, they could get raped. Ain't no law if they get raped, you can't go to police because ain't no police force. They don't want that. People don't want to live like this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have any help. They have to. It's battle of the fittest right now. You got to defend your own family.
This goes back to my question. Why is it that all of those countries were being established to help countries are not helping Haiti?
This is what they're doing now. The United Nations have an area called the Security Council that makes decisions based on countries voting. You see, the United Nations is run by all countries taking votes. That's how they make decisions.
Right.
So they have approved that we will get stability in Haiti by causing a conglomerate of peacekeepers from the neighboring forces and those that want to assist to go into Haiti and cause it to become stabilized and hold on to it until they have a good running government, a good system, and then they'll wean themselves out of Haiti eventually, like was done in 94, 95.
By when?
Well, they ain't put no parameters on time yet. This is just something we know that in October it was approved. Now, the Bahamas and all those other countries are making preparation. It has been established that once they're ready to move toward Haiti, to go in, they would all get together in Jamaica. And Jamaica has offered their facilities to do what they call final preparations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Final preparations, and they have something called interoperability training. In other words, they want to have a common rules of engagement, because now you got different forces coming from different countries. So we want to know what is the rules of engagement for our mission. For everybody's got to be on the same page. Okay. They got to use how much use of force we prepared to use. They need to know that before they go. These are the things they're going to be doing in Jamaica. They're going to be agreeing. They're going to be agreeing on all these things before they go into Haiti as a group. Yeah, so it's not a fly by night thing, Brother Brayman. It's really a well organized and the decision has to come from the United Nations, because that's the entity that governs world decisions, eh?
Right.
And that's where this decision coming from. It ain't coming from no particular country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you have some very good questions, and I'm glad you're asking them, because while you're asking them, a lot of people probably had the same thing in mind, and they're listening to the responses. So thank you for your call.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, man. You take it easy, and we'll keep in touch. And please keep tuning into Maritime Matters every time you get a chance, my friend.
Absolutely. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Got another caller calling on Maritime Matters. Thank you for waiting.
Captain Glenville.
Yes, sir.
To the man who grew me up on the Lampole basketball court in front of Chopstem Yard.
Ah, what you say, Irv? What you say, Irv? Yeah. Well, you know how we go.
Yeah, the man with the crazy backflip. Gentlemen, you all think, ladies and gentlemen, you all think Tyree Hill have a crazy backflip? You all need to check this man right here, backflip side.
Yeah, you know I wasn't easy.
If you see Tyree Hill did a backflip, only one man come to mind.
You know I can't do that no more. Again, I'm hitting 60 hard now. So.
I hear you. When you're an independent eagle going, you can be independent eagle is really ending from the Chinese. When you say, and I tell you, getting older.
Yeah.
You say, I tell you 60. What do you mean when you say that way?
Yeah, man, heading for 62, boy. Look here. God has been good. God has been good.
But independent asked you if you gave any help from the Chinese. You say, I tell you 60. Why can't I that way? But my question, I have two questions, man. Will they get the same salary, or they get a bonus in their salary for going, or they'll get the same salary a month, or some type of sniping or something like that? Or when they come back off the tour, will Honorable Philip Brave Davis pin the purple heart on them, or give them some type of honorary or something like that,
yeah,
or they'll be up for promotion?
They certainly get
something like that, or they just go and come back normal.
No, they would all get a pin, verifying that they served as peacekeepers during certain situation. It will obviously put them in a better position when promotion comes around. The salary that government gives its employees are continuous. So no matter where you are, your salary still goes to your bank account. Now the good thing about it is while they're there, they're going to be eating free, and they ain't have to spend no money.
What do you mean it would be an extra? They get the same monthly salary, or they get a bonus?
No. They get the same exact. The only thing is they ain't got to spend any money because they're in Haiti, and they getting everything free down there.
No man, so you put like I always say, put the life on the line and that. So get a little extra, that'll give them more motivation to go there.
No, but you're not putting your life on the line. You know, every time you go in a boat to go to sea, you put your life on. You know, every time you hop in your car, you put your life on the line.
Yeah, but someone just sent me a video in Haiti with they threw some tires and bringing a couple of people and this and that and things like, so you know when you get in that type of environment and things like you say, you know, what happened.
All that's part of their culture, yeah.
Yeah, that's true, right? That's true. You can be that kind of pray. Wherever they go in the world, you get paid and they come back home safe.
Just remember.
The Gaza ship and Palestine that.
Yeah.
People from the United States and they volunteer and they go fight in the war and they ain't scared of that.
They ain't never scared.
There are people that say that patriotism and look at them as heroes.
Yeah, but we also got to look at the fact that it's not only Bahamian troops. It's going to be Barbados, Trinidad, Jamaica, Suriname, Belize. It's going to be, and everybody's have the same exposure. And last time they went down there for about 2 years, nobody got killed.
Yeah, that's true.
So we're not.
You have to sensitize it. You can't have that part of the world going on like that and everything like that. But more of a flare out and be coming down, so you don't just be more burden on us. So we have to get there in the Caribbean and try get out. The U.S. going down and run the Taliban them out there and down there in Arabia.
Yeah.
Afghanistan down there and everything, but they leave and then the Taliban take back over and come back. That's what they got to do. They got to go and establish a government down there and democracy. And then that's the only way to wait.
Absolutely. Yeah, but they are brothers and sisters, and we want them to be like us. We want them to be able to select their own government, and we want the government to be able to run their own country, and that's what they need. Otherwise, they'll be in chaos forever, you know.
Yeah, it could be chaos forever, man. It could be chaos forever.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, then I cap, man. Yeah, I can let someone else get it and continue to listen.
Appreciate you. Thanks so much for calling, my friend.
Yeah, man. You know what we can do about.
Indeed.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, that's my good buddy from Bamboo Town, all the way down to Porky's Corner there, and all us grew up in the same little neck of the woods. Boy, I tell you, life could move on. I remember when I was just a little boy growing up, teenager. Now, I getting ready to retire from being a working adult, I guess. But ladies and gentlemen, the number to call again, 326-8255 if you want in. We only got about, 13 minutes left. We roll in. Very good show tonight. We got some good questions. We got some good contributions. And we're going to, let's keep pressing on with it. Because, I am basically breaking down what Commodore King, Dr. Raymond King, said in his press briefing in dealing with this matter of Defense Force personnel being deployed. And he really talked about migration in the region on the whole. And let's scrutinize some of the things that he would have covered. He said migration is down overall. Migration meaning people migrating from one country to the next in this region. You got Cubans that migrate, Jamaicans that migrate, Haitians that migrate, and you have Bahamians who migrate. I don't want you to think we don't have Bahamians who sneaking into Canada and the U.S. And overstaying their time and not coming back home. All of us got family who did that, eh? So we're not different from nobody else people. We ain't nothing so special about us. Yeah, well, we know we special people, but we know our country is a special, blessed land. But just remember that what's going on happens even with Bahamians, eh? Meantime, according to Dr. King, he said nobody landed in the Bahamas in 2023, right? We had nobody that we have any evidence landed in the Bahamas. We said it couldn't possibly happen, but we could only speak to what we know about, eh? And as far as he's concerned, there are no records, no reports about any landings. Of course, they interdicted boats as usual, but even in that was decreased by 22%. Meantime, there have been a 150% rise in migrant landings at Turks and Caicos, and over 5,000 persons just for 2023 were working their way to Turks and Caicos, right? Including 2 vessels being intercepted for Turks and Caicos within a 24-hour period, and the 2 of them together had 150 people going into Turks and trying to get into Turks and Caicos. So the hot spot, Turks and Caicos is a very hot spot. And we know what's going on. Turks and Caicos is building, their work, there's a lot going on. It ain't a little small country it was back in the day. It's really moving leaps and bounds. My good friend Derek Farquharson could tell you, because he just been to Turks and Caicos. Say, man, Turks and Caicos is making us look small. I don't agree with Derek fully, but he and I agree to disagree. Yes, Turks and Caicos have a lot going on. Exuma have a lot going on. Abaco have a lot going on. Nassau have a lot going on. But he feels like Turks and Caicos generally is doing better than the Bahamas, which may be the case, but I don't know. We got a lot going on too. Yes, we got some slow areas, but boy, we got a lot going on in some areas. So 5,000 persons over the year 2023 would have been detected going into Turks and Caicos from Haiti. And that's, of course, in the southern Bahamas areas, not the Bahamas, but in the southern area from the Bahamas. But in the northern area, we experienced an increase to a conglomerate of countries trying to get from the Bahamas into Florida by 90%, 90%. 50% of which were Haitians, but the other 50% were 27 different nationalities. They were detected, and some 1,500 migrants in total were being detained, from trying to get to the U.S. from the Bahamas, and that's, of course, Bimini area and Grand Bahama area, like especially the west coast of Grand Bahama. And this is always going on. This ain't nothing new, but it continues to go on. So we can't turn a blind eye. It's been increased lately, and we need to pay attention to that. It is noteworthy that in 2023, they saw an increase in Haitian migration to other neighboring countries, such as Dominican Republic, Turks and Caicos, and the east coast of Jamaica even. So the Haitians are, while they're not coming to the Bahamas and landing in the Bahamas, they have increased their activities to those neighboring countries. And you know why? Because the United States have a migrant sponsorship program. And that migrant sponsorship program means once you sign on and you get in, they will take you into the U.S. And they have over 580,000 Haitian nationals that applied for that. Now, they can't come straight out of Haiti and go there. So what they do? They're trying to get into neighboring countries. That's why Domrep, Turks and Caicos and Jamaica are being sought by these. They don't want to go there just to live. They want to go there to try get in on that U.S. migrant sponsorship program to get into the U.S. So they're making those attempts. And, they try to enroll in that program and get into the U.S. So you can't really blame them for that, could you? And that's how they roll in. We talked earlier about our Immigration Act not having penalty for the employer that actually takes on employees who are not Bahamians and do not have the requisite work permit for the job they employ them to do. Now, we know from our last week's show, some areas in this country are reserved for Bahamian citizens only, not Bahamian residents. Well, I don't know if we got Bahamian residents, but not residents of the Bahamas, but citizens of the Bahamas. You have to be a citizen. You get married to a Bahamian and you're from another country, that don't make you a citizen. You got to go through a process to become a citizen afterwards. So you wouldn't be able to work in those areas that the government policy say Bahamians only. And in those areas, the immigration department should not issue work permits, because the immigration department is part of the government and they should not violate their own policy, because that policy is for the government throughout the government services, not just for people who work in customs or people who work in defense force. No, it's government policy for everybody, the whole government service, and all government people, and all of us. The policy is the policy. That's the country's policy that the government put in place. That ain't no particular administration putting that in place. That's not the Davis administration saying these are our policies. That's not the Ingram administration, Christie administration, Pillen administration, or even the previous Minnis administration. It's the government's policy, and that was in place from way back, from Sir Lyndon Pillen days. The government set those policies based on trying to make provisions for the protection of its citizens, us. So some people say the government don't care. Well, the policy needs to be enforced. So the government made the policy so they care. But now we, the people, need to put their foot to the fire to ensure that that policy is being enforced. And our Immigration Act is falling short on issuing penalties like jail time or big fines for employers that employs non-Bahamian personnel working in those areas that are reserved for Bahamians. And how do you know? Well, you know, because if you're an employer, you should, first of all, you should ask for Bahamian status, which is a passport. And if the person can't produce a passport, then you say to them, well, I would need to see your foreign passport along with your work permit for this area. And I can assure you they ain't gonna have no work permit for those areas that are reserved for Bahamians. And I ain't gotta talk with them no more, because we only got another 5 minutes on the show. We talked with that all of last week, so you could go on our YouTube page, Maritime Bahamas, and you can check on our YouTube page and pull up the last show, and you can pull up all the previous shows, Maritime Bahamas on YouTube, and you will find us. Maritime Matters, Bahamas. All of our shows are there. And you would get the details if you missed that show, that is. We talked earlier also about the crown leases, the people who lease crown land from the government for the purpose of farming, particularly along that Cowpen Road stretch, anything south of Cowpen Road, and even most of them north of Cowpen Road, were leased to individual families for farming back in the day. And I guess I'm still being leased out, government leasing out crown land today for farming. But you know what a lot of them did? They got the land and built apartments. And they collecting on a monthly basis for land that should have been farmed that they didn't pay for. And we know that can't be right, eh? And then some of them actually got the land, let the bush stay there, let the Haitians build their shanty towns, and they collect on a monthly basis from the person who built and regulating and leasing out and renting out those shanty towns. And they're comfortable with that. They feel like that's okay. And the government know where they are, but the government ain't enforcing the law. So, Attorney General Ryan Pindler say, hey, enough of that. We now going to enforce the law where we're going to terminate agricultural-related crown land leases, if shanty towns have been built on the properties. So what he's saying is, we're not only going to get rid of the shanty town, but we can take the land back from you. And that's what I'm talking about. That's action, eh? But now I want to know when the first one happened. You see, we got action with our shanty towns as well. We took down Cool Acres. We took down All Saints. Well, not we, but our dear Minister Clay Sweeting, who was the Minister of Works. He was the key factor in ensuring that those two come down. And he promised us that the rest coming down. So I give kudos to Minister Sweeting in that regard, but also Minister Sweeting, we watch it. And we want to see the schedule. The schedule of when the rest, and I want you to leave that out. Let's do a schedule, all 30 on it, to say what date was earmarked or appointed for those 30 to come down. And then, yes, we're going to rope in Abaco. Yes, we're going to rope in Elutra. Yes, we're going to rely on Exuma. Yeah, Exuma probably got some too. We're going to rope in all of them, Minister Sweeting. So that's how we can roll with that. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's basically wrapped up our show, wrapping up in a nutshell for the night. We had some very good calls. We had some very good questions. It looked like we got a call on the line. Boy, someone catching us just before we run out. Caller, you're on Maritime Matters. Thank you so much for calling.
Yes, Cap. I just have to make a comment on the Crown Land issue.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Right. I think this whole business of Crown Land, we have to open this up for more scrutiny, because freedom of information and all that kind of stuff, all that, in my opinion, is very important. Yet it appears to me, I could be wrong, it appears to me that this whole business of Crown Land reeks of corruption and is a big scam. But if you look at how you have people in those family islands and whatnot who are getting Crown Land grants, and they are selling it to foreigners, and they foreigners, if they sell it for $1 million or $2 million for the land, the plots of land, the foreigners are dividing those plots up and selling each lot for $1 million. Right?
That's right.
The business of Crown Land in this country has been an enigma for a very long time. It first sat at the Lands and Survey Department. Now it sits in the office of the Prime Minister for the last umpteen years. Who gets it? Nobody knows. And so I just think that we have to open this up, and the Bahamian people have to call for more transparency when it comes to this Crown Land business, because a lot of skullduggery, in my opinion, is going on. And I call on all the powers that be who have a stake in this, to let's fix this problem for generations yet unborn, because this is a problem.
Well, we got to be the people. We got to be the people to fix the corruption, Captain Brain, because I can tell you, the corrupt ones are not going to want to fix it. And we know that those in power are the ones that cause all the corruption to happen. They ain't want to fix it because they're reaping benefits. So we, the people, we have to learn to take a stand, and we have to learn to protest these things. We can't just sit and say, oh, we can wait for the election to come and we can change the government, because the next government come in and do the same thing, eh?
Indeed.
So we got to get them while they're in power. We got to stand up, like my good friend, Brother Lincoln Bain, was doing time and time again. And a lot of times he was out there, but I joined him a couple of times. You don't even know me, and I am very important. But a lot of times he would call for cause, and a lot of Bahamians who are disgusted with these things don't even show up. So until we get to the stage where we are serious about protesting these things in front of the government, we ain't got nowhere to go.
But maybe we can. I watch the BBC News very often, and I see where the Prime Minister takes questions, and the government is asked to account on issues. Maybe that could be another avenue for the Bahamian people through the parliamentary system that currently exists for us to get some answers and start to highlight some things. So I'm not sure where we are on that. I've heard it in the news where entities were calling for this question and answer period in the House of Assembly. I don't know. Maybe that can be an outlet for us to get something, even if the Bahamians are reluctant to come out and on the streets.
Yeah, well, sometimes they call town meetings, people come out. But the thing is, the government is not going to put checks and measures on themselves. We have to make it happen. We, the people.
Indeed.
Thank you so much for your call, as usual, my friend. And you had the last say. I think, I can't let you say Maritime Matters out tonight, because I still got to talk with my sponsors, eh? So if you just hold the line for 1 minute, I can let you say it. Sponsors for the night, 101 Pharmacy, yes, Nassau, they're on East Street South and Charles Sanders Highway, and in Freeport, they're on Explorers Bay, just downtown Freeport. We're also sponsored by Bahamas Maritime Connection, as BMC, and we are proudly joint sponsored by GBI Pilots and Bimini Pilots. They're located in Grand Bahama and Bimini. And with that, we're going to bring our show to a close. I thank my good producer, Mr. Craig Gibson, for giving me this extra 4 minutes for him to talk. And I thank you, listeners. I thank all the callers, in particular, I'm Brother Herb. And Herb, you can take us out, buddy.
Well, thank you again, the callers, listeners, for another lovely and informative show. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, Maritime Matters out.